Hi, my question for Army on Gossip Girl. Who was the biggest diva on set?
Biggest diva on set of Gossip Girl.
Let me just say, that was a tough show to film. I didn't end up actually filming all of the episodes I was supposed to.
Literally, you said, get me out of this.
It was also like, get him out of here.
Whose love interest were you?
Blake Lively's love
You
interest.
were?
Yeah.
Okay, well then.
Sounds like she was the problem.
It sure does, Chelsea.
No, that's not what I'm
That's
saying.
exactly what I was thinking.
Stand. She doesn't want her husband to take the stand. She doesn't want Taylor Swift to take the stand, nor do they want to take the stand. So if they came to you and just said, we will call this a massive misunderstanding, can we just drop it? Would you entertain it? Curious.
I mean, he was called a sexual predator, or are they saying he's still a sexual predator, but it's a misunderstanding?
Right. You are going to depose Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Taylor Swift.
Hollywood is buzzing with intense speculation as online discussions explode around Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. A wave of entertainers and social media personalities has begun sharing stories that question how the couple rose to the top of the industry. The controversy gained traction after individuals connected to the Deadpool and Wolverine productions allegedly described a tense work environment. According to these accounts, Reynolds was viewed by some as overly controlling during creative decisions, leaving crew members feeling overshadowed or ignored. Though nothing has been confirmed, the growing chatter has pushed the couple into the center of a rapidly escalating digital storm.
Wrote the It Ends With Us screenplay. Christy Hall said she turned in her script prior to the writer's strike. Then she rejoined production to give feedback during the editing process. She noticed that there were differences in some of the dialogue that she just assumed were improvisations. It wasn't until the premiere on August 6th that she found out, along with everybody else, that it was Ryan who had penned that dialogue. I need to know when this editing process was, because if it was during or right after the writer's strike, it means it would have been written during the writer's strike. I can understand why Christy Hall wouldn't sound the alarm if the version of the film that she saw the new dialogue in, if she just assumed it was improv. But then on the red carpet, to find out along with everybody else, he actually wrote those bits in and potentially during the writer's strike. It's giving scab. Or am I misunderstanding? Someone help me do the
Criticism toward Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively has intensified online, with fans revisiting past controversies and raising new questions. Some viewers have accused Reynolds of behavior they believe undermines Hollywood's collaborative culture, while Lively's old career moves are being re-examined under a much harsher light. One recurring topic is her 2018 involvement in The Husband's Secret, where she was both star and executive producer, a credit some commentators still debate. At the same time, smaller creators have resurfaced past grievances, alleging that their ideas or designs were used without proper acknowledgement. The couple's once a golden reputation, crafted over years of charming interviews and polished public appearances, is facing widespread scrutiny. Online communities are even joking that Netflix could one day turn the unfolding drama into a documentary. And according to ongoing social media speculation, this may only be the opening chapter of a deeper industry conflict. Long-rumored tensions involving Justin Baldoni have been cited as part of a broader pattern that critics claim involves creative disputes, broken promises, and behind-the-scenes friction, all of which remain unverified but heavily discussed.
The husband of the A-minus list actress knows exactly what went down on the set and just how much extra, unnecessary kissing and other activity there was. He will find out in Discovery. This is just alleged, obviously, but I think that we can use our context clues and assume it's about Ryan Reynolds not knowing about what happened between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively on the set of It Ends With Us. If this is true, okay, if this is getting really messy, just need one crew member that was there on set every single day to come out and give us the tea. I don't think anyone will, but I want them to.
The conversation has been fueled by screenshots, online testimonies, and commentary from people claiming to have worked with or around the couple. While their authenticity varies, the narratives being shared paint a similar picture, and the public has become intensely curious. To understand how these conversations formed, many are revisiting early chapters of Blake Lively's career. In 2014, she launched Preserve, a lifestyle website meant to blend artisan goods with high-end branding. The project struggled to find a clear identity, offering everything from home decor to specialty items with no consistent theme. Critics argued it appeared unfocused and overpriced, and the press often questioned what the brand was even meant to represent. Within a year, Preserve shut down, widely regarded as a misstep, one Lively later described as a creative vision that didn't evolve the way she intended.
Preserve, Blake Lively's short-lived digital ode to the South. He was going for Martha Stewart meets the Pioneer Woman with like a splash of goop, but what we got was Paula Deen. Paula Deen, if she was into $70 artisanal salad tongs. Anywho, unfortunately for Blakey, there wasn't much of a market for a lifestyle blog romanticizing the antebellum South. Called Preserve. What are we trying to preserve here, Blake? I didn't see her selling any jams. For many, there's something really troubling about a woman born and raised in Los Angeles who is enamored with the antebellum South. And to be clear, antebellum means before the war, the Civil War. And she thought that shit was so chic that she and Ryan had to get married on a plantation. Then, to be fair, they have both apologized for the plantation wedding and invested heavily in organizations that support communities of color. You can make a post on that if you like, but TLDR, if you got married on a plantation, I hope you're haunted by the slaves whose graves you essentially danced on. Toodle.
When the brand folded, Lively defended the effort by saying it had been released earlier than it should have been and never fully aligned with its intended mission. However, online critics have since circulated claims that some of the products featured by the site resembled work by independent creators who felt they were not credited or compensated appropriately. These stories remain unverified, but they continue resurfacing whenever the actress faces public scrutiny. By October 2015, Preserve officially closed, and in a follow-up interview with Vogue, Lively emphasized that she chose to end the project because it no longer reflected the values she hoped it would represent. She framed the shutdown as a chance to start fresh rather than a defeat.
There is a new blind item that is allegedly about Blake Lively's new hair care line, Blake Brown, failing immensely. Apparently, a hair care line and a movie about DV is not a great marketing twofer. The new line of the A-list actress is bombing. That makes her like 0 for her last 6 when it comes to establishing a brand. And again, this is allegedly Blake Lively and her new hair care brand, Blake Brown, and it is comparing her past brands, Betty Buzz, a line of non-alcoholic drink mixers, Betty Booze, a line of alcoholic canned cocktails, and Preserve and Gifting, kindness and gifting advice. And the related headline reads, "The Blake Lively backlash was a long time coming." The drama surrounding It Ends With Us seemed to be some of the biggest entertainment news this week, with Blake Lively catching a lot of heat for her conduct during the press release for the film and some problematic past actions.
A separate wave of rumors later emerged involving Lively's 2017 role in the thriller The Husband's Secret. An independent writer claimed online that a screenplay she had circulated years prior resembled elements of the project, sparking conversations about whether the overlap was coincidence or convenience. Major entertainment outlets did not pursue the claim, leaving the story as largely unverified internet speculation. At the same time, an old interview resurfaced in which Lively discussed taking a more hands-on role in certain creative decisions, comments critics used to fuel debates about whether she exerted too much influence behind the scenes. The fact that she held an executive producer credit added more fuel to the online discourse, even though such credits often serve a wide range of functions in Hollywood. Some fans have also revisited the early Gossip Girl years, where unconfirmed accounts suggest interpersonal tension between Lively and co-star Penn Badgley. Online commentators allege that the cast dynamic was strained at times, though the extent has never been clear. Despite any rumored friction, Lively and Badgley dated for several years before going their separate ways. Later, as Lively married Ryan Reynolds and her influence in Hollywood grew, social media commentators speculated about whether Badgley's career dips were related, a theory publicly unsupported by any concrete evidence. More recently, rumors resurfaced about disagreements involving Justin Baldoni and the cast of It Ends With Us. After private messages were leaked online, fans began drawing connections and crafting theories suggesting personal and professional tensions. Actors like Brandon Sklenar, Chris Chalk, and even author Colleen Hoover have kept their distance publicly, which the internet has analyzed with great enthusiasm. Whether these interpretations are accurate or simply part of social media culture is unknown, but one thing is clear: the polished image surrounding Blake Lively is facing more questions than ever, and Hollywood is watching closely.
Team Blake or Team Justin?
He said, I don't speak English, Gail.
I'm team it ends with us.
It ends with us star Brandon Sklenar playing Switzerland when it comes to the drama between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
It's unfortunate that things get taken away from what the ethos of that thing is, and it gets convoluted. And I just want to remind people of why that thing exists in the first place.
Atlas.
Lily Bloom. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
She has a really amazing ability to make people feel real.
In recent months, a growing number of people who once considered themselves close to Blake Lively have begun suggesting online that certain long-standing tensions finally make sense in hindsight. Many fans point back to earlier situations like Penn Badgley's subtle comments hinting at professional friction to argue that there may have been deeper issues behind the scenes. But according to circulating online discussions, Penn may not have been the only one who experienced difficult dynamics. The rumored strain between Lively and her Gossip Girl co-star Leighton Meester is now being re-examined as well. On screen, the pair played inseparable best friends, but many observers claim the off-camera energy was far more complicated. Some crew members from the series have said the two had very different personalities, creating a naturally tense working environment. Executive producer Joshua Safran once described their relationship as friends, but not friendly, a phrase fans often interpret as proof of underlying conflict. Their joint interviews during the height of the show added fuel to the speculation. Viewers often pointed out stiff smiles, clipped responses, and an unmistakable chill that suggested their chemistry was purely professional. Actor Armie Hammer, who briefly appeared on the show, once hinted in an interview that his short-lived run might have been influenced by friction with a cast member, which many online users speculated referred to Lively, though he never confirmed any names. These resurfaced comments have only added to the narrative circulating on social media that several co-stars found the working atmosphere challenging. Another frequently cited example appeared years later during the press tour for A Simple Favor. Reports from the time suggested noticeable tension between Lively and co-star Anna Kendrick. One producer allegedly noted that the promotional circuit became difficult, with clashing personalities creating strain behind the scenes. Instead of the friendly, upbeat energy fans expected, interviews often felt stiff, and observers debated who was responsible for the awkwardness. Kendrick, for her part, never publicly fueled the story, but online discourse has repeatedly revisited that period as part of a larger pattern of rumored behind-the-scenes conflicts. Yet the conversation doesn't stop with Blake Lively. Her husband, Ryan Reynolds, has also drawn intense scrutiny as online commentators revisit past creative disputes involving him. One of the most discussed examples involves director Tim Miller, who helmed the breakout success Deadpool. After the film became a global hit, Miller stepped away from the sequel. Industry insiders at the time suggested that creative disagreements played a major role. Miller later mentioned in an interview that constant battles over creative control made collaboration difficult, comments many fans interpreted as a reflection of Reynolds' influence on the project. Actor T.J. Miller, another member of the Deadpool cast, has echoed similar frustrations. In public interviews, he described his experience on set as tense and uncomfortable, claiming he eventually stepped away because the working environment no longer felt healthy. His comments centered on moments where he felt overshadowed or dismissed, and though his statements reflect only his personal perspective, they resurfaced recently as the broader conversation around Reynolds reignited actress Morena Baccarin, who played Vanessa in the first Deadpool film, also became part of online discourse when fans noticed her significantly reduced presence in the sequel. While no official explanation was ever confirmed, social media speculation suggested that creative disagreements might have contributed to her diminished screen time. Her near-complete absence from later promotional cycles only intensified fan theories, even though none of the parties involved have publicly provided a definitive answer. These discussions have also intersected with rumors involving Blake Lively and actor Justin Baldoni during the filming of It Ends With Us. After private messages allegedly circulated online, viewers began speculating that personal disagreements may have influenced public interactions among the cast. Actors like Brandon Sklenar, Chris Chalk, and even author Colleen Hoover have kept interactions minimal on social media, which fans have eagerly interpreted, though such conclusions remain unverified. Penn Badgley's early experiences on Gossip Girl have also resurfaced within this ongoing narrative. Some longtime fans recall hearing that he initially struggled to feel welcomed on set, though the exact reasons were never publicly confirmed. Paired with the idea that Lively's influence in Hollywood grew significantly in later years, online commentators have attempted to draw connections, often without concrete evidence, between early interpersonal tensions and later shifts in career momentum. Meanwhile, attention has turned to Reynolds' public persona, which for years has revolved around humor, self-awareness, and light-hearted charm. Recently, however, several online discussions have questioned whether private interactions align with his public image. Some reality TV personalities recounted encounters where they felt dismissed or brushed off, and clips from talk shows have circulated where cast members from programs like Jersey Shore named Reynolds as a less-than-friendly celebrity interaction. These comments were brief and softened with humor, but they still added oxygen to the growing discourse. The conversation expanded further after actress Rebecca Ferguson described working with a co-star whose name she withheld, who she said regularly berated her on set. While Ferguson made it clear that neither Tom Cruise nor Hugh Jackman were involved, speculation online spiraled wildly as fans attempted to identify the individual. Former co-stars issued statements clarifying it wasn't them, but that only intensified the guessing game. Although Ferguson never indicated any connection to Ryan Reynolds, some internet users repeatedly inserted his name into the discourse, largely due to other circulating allegations about his behavior. These theories remain unverified and are based solely on online speculation. Another shift fans have noticed is Ryan Reynolds' seemingly quiet distancing from certain friendships. His once close camaraderie with Jake Gyllenhaal, widely documented during the promotion of their film Life, appears to have faded. Neither actor has addressed the change publicly, but the sudden silence has encouraged fans to speculate about a possible rift. Observers often point to this as yet another example of industry relationships shifting around Reynolds, though, again, there is no public confirmation behind these theories. Collectively, these stories, spanning co-stars, directors, producers, and public encounters, have led social media communities to question whether the polished, comedic, cheerful image surrounding both Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds reflects the full picture. None of the circulating claims have been formally substantiated, yet the breadth of conversation and the number of resurfaced interviews have created a cultural moment where Hollywood watchers are paying unusually close attention. As this situation continues to unfold, many believe more perspectives may surface, whether through interviews, industry statements, or future reporting. But for now, the public conversation is gaining momentum, and the couple's reputation, once nearly untouchable in the entertainment landscape, is being viewed through a lens of scrutiny unlike anything they've faced before. No matter what project he joins, it often feels like everything begins revolving around Ryan Reynolds, whether that was the plan or not. And it isn't only his co-stars who've expressed concerns over his influence. Even highly respected filmmakers have weighed in. One of the most notable examples came from Quentin Tarantino, who is famously direct and rarely filters his thoughts. During an interview, Tarantino took a pointed swipe at the wave of high-budget Netflix films starring Reynolds. He mentioned hearing that Reynolds earned enormous paychecks for several streaming projects, yet admitted he couldn't recall a single one. Tarantino's candid takeaway was simple: these films may be profitable, but they leave almost no cultural footprint. In other words, Reynolds may be earning impressive figures, but the projects themselves don't seem to resonate with the public, at least not in Tarantino's view. That sentiment resurfaced when Reynolds attempted to develop a parody-style reboot of Home Alone titled Stoned Alone. The concept drew immediate backlash, but the sharpest response came from the original Home Alone director, Chris Columbus. Columbus criticized the idea as disrespectful to the spirit of the classic film and urged anyone attempting a reimagining to revisit the original before moving forward. His comments echoed a growing feeling among some creatives that not every legacy project should be reworked for modern humor or shock value. Actors have voiced their opinions as well. When someone compared Gerard Butler's sci-fi action movie Gamer to Reynolds' film Free Guy, Butler offered a surprisingly blunt reply. He simply said he doesn't watch Reynolds' movies. There was no elaboration, just a firm dismissal that many found unexpectedly harsh. These tensions aren't limited to Reynolds' professional environment. Discussions about his personal life occasionally surface too. His brief marriage to Scarlett Johansson ended during a period when Johansson's career was rapidly accelerating, especially as she stepped into major Marvel roles. While she rarely speaks about their relationship, she has suggested that uneven success within a marriage can create pressure. Many interpreted her remarks as subtle commentary on the dynamic between them at the time. Although the full details have never been publicly confirmed, the idea of professional competition contributing to strain has remained a recurring topic among fans and observers. Taken together, these remarks, from directors, actors, and former partners, have created a pattern that people in the industry are increasingly talking about. The carefully polished public image that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively maintain online is now being contrasted with stories that paint a much more complicated picture behind the scenes. From controversial creative decisions to strained working relationships, Hollywood appears to be paying closer attention to the gap between perception and reality. As more accounts continue to surface, the conversation is shifting from quiet speculation to open discussion. So now the question becomes, how much of this is exaggerated Hollywood chatter, and how much reflects real tension behind the curtain? I'd love to hear your perspective. Do you think these reports hold weight, or are they just part of the entertainment industry's never-ending rumor cycle? Share your thoughts below. And if you want a deeper breakdown, you can also check out the videos where I analyze how industry colleagues have reacted to both Reynolds and Lively over the years. Like, share, and subscribe for more detailed commentary.